Further debate? Further debate. I recognize the member from Ajax.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess it is, right? Thank you, Speaker. It's an honor to be here in this chamber today in front of my fellow members, colleagues, family, friends, supporters, and those watching at home and maybe a little bit later at home as well. Even if you've worked in politics, nothing quite prepares you to enter this House for the first time, to be able to serve people and to be their voice here. It's an immense privilege that hit me the day after the election when I learned that there had been less than 2,000 people who've sat here, a number that I admit I didn't know before. And for me, I'm number 1992 to be exact. I wish it had been I wish I had timed this a little bit better because it would have been pretty cool to be 1988, the year of my birth. But I guess I'm now 1992. I guess I can, fudge my birth certificate a little bit later. I'm just joking. I've been following politics and elections for quite some time. When I was a kid in 1997, so if you're doing math, I was 9 years old, and I saw the results of the federal election then coming in and kind of thought of it like a horse race. Who's going to come in first? And you see, I made that connection because some of my childhood memories involve hanging out with my father at the track. He liked the horse races and going, and I went with him, and we made a lot of bets, and it was a lot of fun going with him there. So that's where I made that connection. And I think I always cheered for the underdog. I'm not too sure how I did in those bets. I was kind of randomly selecting some of the numbers, or I like this name on the program. But lo and behold, in this election, I was the underdog, putting together a campaign over the course of less than 5 weeks from start to finish. It's kind of remarkable for me to think about that still. And as all of us experience in the bitter cold and snow, building a team, putting in more steps that I can really remember doing in a long time, but campaigning on the issues that mattered to the people of Ajax. And they sent me here to work on their behalf, and I thank them, and I'm forever grateful for the trust that they've placed in me to represent them here in this chamber. I'm also thankful for my partner, Gunjan, who every morning made sure I had my coffee during that election campaign, which are really 2 long espresso shots with some heavy cream, and who's been there for me every step of this new journey. So I'm very grateful, and thank you, honey. Thank you to my campaign team of Matt, Adam, and Sarah, and countless volunteers and supporters who helped get me here today over the finish line, just 331 votes. I know we have another member that was a little bit less vote total, so we'll call the member from Mushok, James Bay, landslide instead of me. But those folks really helped me get over that finish line, and they believed in my abilities and vision. And after the campaign, Chris, one of our campaign volunteers from Ajax, he shared a touching note with me and the team talking about his experience. Recently retired just a few years ago, and he said he was a first-time volunteer on a political campaign. And he shared with us that he was hopeful and inspired by everyone involved, from the youngest volunteers, who are my niece and nephew, to some of the older volunteers as well. And he was inspired by everyone involved, and not just for Ajax, but also for our province and country of people coming together. I'd like to thank my predecessor, Patrice Barnes, for her service to Ajax as a member of provincial parliament and a school trustee. Her and I have had many great conversations over the years, and I wish her well. I'd also like to recognize and thank the now former Member of Parliament for Ajax, Mark Holland, who's up here in the gallery today. I'd like to thank him for his support and encouragement. And Ajax was served so well by Mark, and his example in the community is something that I strive to be. And although we didn't get to serve together for very long, I've learned something new from him every day, and I know I'll continue to do that. So thank you, Mark. The land on which Ajax is situated is within the traditional and treaty territories of the Mississaugas, and specifically the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, the signatories of the Gunshot Treaty of 1788 and the Williams Treaties of 1923. As a new member in here and as someone who lives on this land, I believe we all have a responsibility to Indigenous peoples to respect their traditions, and as right holders, including our duty to consult. Ajax was founded during the Second World War, laying down roots that would grow into a strong and resilient community. It was the site of the largest munitions plant in the British Commonwealth, producing over 40 million shells and employing over 9,000 people, primarily women who are known as the Bomb Girls. The town bears the name of HMS Ajax, a Royal Navy cruiser that played a decisive role in the Battle of the River Plate, and the spirit of that ship to face challenges head-on with courage still lives in the town that grew from its name. Ours is a community that has always met adversity, not with despair, but determination and victory. And I find it's fitting today that today is Victory in Europe Day, and I'd like to just thank the brave men and women who've served our country with valor and honor in the armed forces, and those who have supported them at home. In the wake of war, as Canada confronted a severe housing crisis, Ajax became a model of intergovernmental cooperation, with a strong direction from government who coordinated between provincial, federal, and local authorities. Ajax turned temporary wartime infrastructure into permanent homes. This rapid expansion of housing gave stability and opportunity to workers, veterans, and refugees alike. And that legacy of responsive, inclusive growth remains a point of pride and one of Ajax's greatest strengths today. It reminds us with coordination and local focus, we can address shortages and build communities that work for the people who live in them. It's a lesson that I think all members should take note and repeat again as we confront another housing crisis here today. Ajax has long stood as a beacon of diversity. In the post-war years, our community opened its arms to European refugees and new Canadians from all around the world, building not just a workforce, but a shared sense of belonging that still defines the town to this day. We have the fastest growing diverse population in the country, and you can see this in the amazing restaurants and shops all throughout the community. And dare I say, with respect to my colleagues in the House, home to some of the best food in the province. Ajax is a community of different faiths and places of worship, all with these community institutions playing an active and engaged role within the community. For our economy, we've always looked to high-demand areas to grow. We're built on high-skilled manufacturing in the legacy of the Second World War and on the legacy of Defence Industries Limited. And today, Ajax continues to host a dynamic mix of innovators in sectors including healthcare, manufacturing, housing, and technology. It's a town that knows the value of hard work and the power of working together. We have a skilled workforce, easy access to roads, highways, and rails to move goods and people, and with the right strategy, and hopefully I'll be able to help make that happen, the potential to supercharge Ontario's economy and the economy within Durham Region. But Ajax is more than its economy. It's a place where families thrive, home to dozens of community organizations, clubs, and teams. There's an extensive network of community centres and great schools. We take pride in our publicly accessible waterfront along Lake Ontario, one of the few of its kind in the region. And we're defenders of our environment and precious wetlands, such as Duffins Creek, and are deeply connected to the green spaces that enhance the quality of life and protect our environment for generations to come. Growing up, my mom was a single mom, and she's here today. I'd like to do that now. And life wasn't always easy. We grew up in an apartment building, but we had enough. And every day she supported and encouraged me. I thought I'd try not to do this. And you know what? Every day she was patient with me. Sometimes maybe days she shouldn't have been. But every day she gave me the opportunity to follow my passion and wear my heart on my sleeve, as I think you're seeing right now. So, Mom, thank you, and I love you. So it's my upbringing that led me to a passion for public service, to help people. And I chose to seek provincial office because I believe that every child in our province should have the opportunity to succeed. I was lucky. I grew up in a great neighborhood, went to great public schools, had teachers that challenged me and inspired me to do better. I had the opportunity to go to post-secondary and earn a BA in political science at York University. a degree which I might add is very different than actual politics. And later on, an MBA from the Schulich School of Business. I had economic opportunities coming out of school, but not every child has those same opportunities. So that's why I believe, as a society and as a government, that we need to ensure that every kid in this province, whether you're from a big city like Toronto or what was a small town in a farming community like Bradford, where my mom and aunt grew up, that everyone has an opportunity to succeed no matter where you are. And that means investing in people, helping those who need a hand up, providing early interventions and preventative measures in areas like child development and healthcare, not because it's the right thing to do, because it's the smart thing to do. That's how we build a stronger economy and a society where no one's left behind. And in the long run, this approach saves government money and gives people the opportunity to make their own decisions and choices for their futures. I believe in responsible government, one that respects the hard-earned tax dollars that it collects, one that provides value and a return on investment in the services that we provide to every resident of Ajax and all across Ontario. And in my view, it's this level of government right here that we all have the privilege of being a part of in this legislature that has the biggest impact on our day-to-day lives. And it's why I'm so honored to be able to sit and, I guess, stand here in this house today. When I think about my family and where we come from on both sides, I sometimes find it remarkable to be here because we carry within ourselves their stories and experiences which form part of our identity, of who we are. So I'd like to pay tribute to my grandmother, Christina Cerjanec, who's passed away now, who I know would be so happy and proud to see me here today, and I miss her every day. She was 9 years old, and when World War II ended, she suddenly was a refugee within Europe and lived in a displaced persons camp until she came to Canada. And it's something that, I'm still taking time and processing and understanding that experience because, growing up, you don't always hear that experience. So, thinking about her, and I learned about some of this a little bit later on and had the opportunity to visit the area in which that was. And it was just kind of remarkable to be there on the land and see the water of what, she had looked out on there in a river. It was a place in Austria. And in writing my remarks, though, I remembered that her and I would drive by this building where we're here today as I took her to medical appointments just down the street. And those were full-day adventures, but also cherished moments as I took her on that long return trip, and with traffic even longer. So thinking of her kindness and humor always made me smile and still does today. I think of my grandfather, George Cerjanec, who came here as a farm laborer and settled in Bradford, which is the carrot capital of Ontario. I don't know if the member representing Bradford's here right now, but I'm sure they'll agree with me. But he was the toughest person I knew and proud of the work that he did. And he said that he earned more per hour than anyone else working on the field because he did the work of two men. Now, I'm going to just have to take his word on that one. But I think that's where I get my work ethic and determination from. And I'll never forget the values that he had and how he spoke about Canada. He called Canada the greatest country in the world because it gave him an opportunity. And it's something that, as a member here, I'll work towards every day to try and make our province and country even better. He met my grandmother there, and together they built a family and a life that I'm immensely proud of. They had one son, Steve, my uncle, and their two daughters who are here today, my mom, Mary, and my aunt, Anne, who's also here with her husband, Ian Burnett. We had a lot of great conversations around the dinner table during Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and other important occasions, along with my cousins, Stacy and Michael. My grandfather brought his winemaking traditions from Croatia, but in the basement, and bottled in those, I think it was glass Evian bottles that they used to have. I always wondered why he cut it with some ginger ale, but now we get to laugh about it and keep their spirit alive. My dad, Ed Kasia, came here from Malta when he was 4, and he built a career selling to power utilities across Ontario for over 50 years, retiring when he was 74 as the company's Canadian sales manager. In the course of his work, he co-invented an overhead power inline disconnect switch that since 1991 had sales of over 3,500 switches per year to Hydro One and utilities across our province. And although he doesn't earn a single cent from his invention, I know that my father had played a role in contributing to a safe and reliable electricity system in our province. After a brief retirement, he's still working in sales, but now at a hardware store at the young age of 81 because he enjoys helping people. It's a great way for him to get out of the house and get some steps in as well, and he really enjoys that. So it's so great to see him do that still. And through him, I have two half-brothers, Tim and Joe, a large extended family, a strong passion for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Go Leafs go, we're up 2-0 in the series, and a rich connection to the island of Malta that I cherish. And I should note that I believe that I'm the first member of provincial parliament of Maltese descent to sit in this house.
Well, there we go.
I appreciate the friendship of so many that have entered my life over the years. Some of them are here today, like Cameron, Craig, Ferd, Erica, Umaid, and many others who couldn't be, like my friend Baz, who's a public school teacher in Peel Region. I'd like to acknowledge a few other people who are here today in the gallery, and one who isn't, that I've had the privilege of sharing my political journey with. Arthur Potts, I'd like to recognize Arthur, who's here today. Former Member of Parliament for Beaches East York, strong advocate for consumer protection here in the House. And I also hear from our conversation earlier, he might be starting a petition to rename the inaugural speech to be a rookie speech. You can look up in Hansard his inaugural speech for a little bit more reasons why. Michael Cotto, former Member of Provincial Parliament for Don Valley East, and now Member of Parliament for Scarborough-Woburn. And I've known Michael one more time. And I've known Michael for more than 15 years, before he sat in this House, actually, and it's through him that I expanded my involvement within the Ontario Liberal Party. And Michael always believed in standing up for people, and I bring with him, with me, I guess, his same belief of opportunity for all and speaking up for those who don't have the same privilege and honor of being here in this House. So thank you, Michael. Someone else who's not here today but would have tried to, Anna Bailau, probably my closest mentor, former Deputy Mayor of Toronto, and who I worked with 4 years at Toronto City Hall, working on housing issues with her and big challenges that we were facing in the province. We were ahead of the curve in advocating for solutions, many times against the grain on the housing file, to make changes to policy that we knew would have impacts and benefits to everyone within Toronto, the GTA, and the province, and some of which still do need to take place today. So, now I have the opportunity in this House to help contribute to advocating, to doing more on housing and hopefully solving that big challenge. I also learned from Anna how to be effective. I always have, her in the back of my head saying, "Rob, we got to do this. We have to do that." And now I am taking a little bit like her. But I also learned from her how to work for the community, to serve the community, and to never forget where you come from. So thank you, Anna, for that. I've learned from so many more over my years. But for the people at home, you may only see the press conferences on TV or the noise and theatrics of question period. I must admit, while it can be a little fun, I'm not sure sometimes that it is the most productive use of our time. And in my short, little groans, right? In my short time here, I think I found so far the most meaningful interactions are the ones that you don't see. Talking with a member of a different party in the hallway or at an event where more of our true selves come out. So from those conversations, I believe there's more that unites us than divides us. And I hope that we all will, in this new session, try to work better together to reach across the aisle and truly make all of our communities and province a better place. Entering this chamber for the first time, wandering the halls, kind of looking at the paintings and reading the names inscribed in stone, it's a surreal experience for me, one that I continue to feel, and I hope to, for however long I get to be here, to feel the weight of that responsibility that has been entrusted on me by the people of Ajax. And the decisions we make here will have an impact on people's lives, hopes, dreams, and futures. So, Speaker, as we confront the challenges of our time, those in Ajax draw inspiration from the past, just as we met the demands of the 20th century with unity and resolve, I hope that we'll meet the challenges of the 21st century with that same spirit and even more. Thank you, Speaker.
Oh, wow.